Hi, everyone. Welcome to Appliance Advisers. I'm Francesco, joined by Dennis. So today we have a topic that I like and was laughing as I read it. How to pay attention and what to look for in the lighting above your range. Now, I will say, I've worked with you for about 10 years now. There's certainly some topics that you get super emotional about and very passionate about. Yes. And this is one of them. This is the lighting above the range.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Yale Appliance, which before that was Yale Appliance and Lighting. Mm-hmm. Before that was Yale Electric. So we're steeped in lighting history for like over 100 years. So yeah, lighting is super important, right? And why I say that is, one, for just task and using it, and does it give good light? And then moreover, decorative, because it is part of it. So where my mind goes with this is, you know, industry standard for lumen output, or just color rendering of lights, is what's called 3000 Kelvin. That is where you'll find most first floor recessed lights in a home set at. Now we have dimmers on recessed lights around a home, but 3000 Kelvin is an industry standard for what we consider task lighting, natural lighting. Color render is good. It's bright. You can work. You can see. It's kind of uplifting, and that's 3000 Kelvin. And that is the standard both in recessed lights, but absolutely the standard in under cabinet lighting. Now it is true, under cabinet lights today will give you, most times it's come a long way, where you'll have multiple selectors in which you can pick different temperatures, because that's what the Kelvin is. It's a temperature reading or brightness. But 3000 Kelvin is kind of pure natural white light. Again, task lighting. So when you're working in a kitchen and you're cutting vegetables, you want to be able to see what you're doing and kind of see the food for what it is and everything else. So I say all this to say, if you think just design-wise, you know, a lot of people spend a lot of money on decorative backsplashes. And 99% of people are doing under cabinet lighting. And if we know 3000 Kelvin is the standard, there's so many examples where you will just see this beautiful backsplash, 3000 Kelvin natural light showing that backsplash great. And then we get to the cooking product and something's above it giving it light. Whether it's an over-the-range microwave, it could be, or some type of a hood, right? Whether it's stainless or in a cabinet, doesn't really matter, but there's a hood. And those things are trying to be a fan as well a lighting source. And 99% of them do an awful, awful, awful job. And it's even more exaggerated by a lot of the manufacturers today doing these gimmicky marketing promotions where it's buy this, get the hood for free, or this or that. People, we're smart. Is anything free? Like, we're smarter than this. And if it is it anything you really want? Right? That was like people used to get free sinks with granite, and then they come back and be like, oh my gosh.
What's the real value of that free piece?
Yeah, it's like a tin can.
Exactly.
So I would say really to focus on that. So you want to look at that lighting and yeah, this sounds like there are a couple that are really do a good job, but they don't. So you want to look at the arc. What's the effect of the beam or the throw or the spread, beam spread of the light? What does it do if you have a decorative tile mosaic or some type of backsplash that is going to drive you nuts? If it's a really long run of a wall, you know, you see really this natural light and then this dark dingy. We see everything from halogen lights. We see LED lights. So when someone says LED, 3000 Kelvin LED light is a standard, but there's 4,000 and 5,000. That's when you get more blue and purple hues. And as you go into those colors, you just don't get the throw or the actual cooking. And a lot of times then, at that moment, the two aren't in the same conversation. So an appliance store isn't talking about their under cabinet lighting and the effect of the hood tied into it, because it's just a singular purchase and you're focusing on the appliances, and that's like far away from your mind. But when you put it in, we have a lot of buyer's remorse. I'm like, why didn't someone tell me this? This isn't turned on high. You know, so on and so forth.
And we show that here too, just like you said. It's like, you know, in the stores, you can see it in these kitchens where you have all this beautiful under cabinet lighting. You get right to the center there and it's just like this dark spot right there. So now, is there any hoods or is there anything that does a better job? Like what can we do?
There is. Listen, and this is going to sound like a cheesy pitch here, but there's very few hood manufacturers. There's only a few factories that make every brand's hood. So brands like Wolf and Thermador, they don't make hoods. Viking doesn't make hoods. You know, there's a producer of those hoods, and there's a few. Again, it's crazy to me how, you know, microwaves just don't, or hoods in general, just don't focus on the lighting. But we created our own series of hoods, And it's not for that. There's a few others out there. But yeah, I sent back about 50 versions of the hoods because we wanted 3,000 Kelvin lighting. And if you look at our hoods versus anyone else's, the throw and the natural, it carries the space and it's consistent all the way down through. And when you have under cabinet lighting, it looks apart. Now, this isn't a big secret. I've been yelling at the manufacturers for years to do this. Could someone make a microwave that had a better lighting source? It sounds so simple to me to do. I'm not an engineer, but good Lord, the lights exist. Could we figure that out? The same is true on these hoods. I mean, I will say, listen, I'll just say it. Thermador is a brand that gives a free hood with their hood. Their hood lighting is simply almost not on.
Yeah.
You got to search this.
Definitely.
If you're not trying that in your home
Right.
or in a store, search that. And I know they're not going to be happy about that, but it needs to be fixed because the downside effect of that is now they don't, and no one talks about it. And now a customer wants to return a hood that was free, but had a perceived value of $4,000 when it's not that.
Yeah.
And who's to blame?
Yeah.
You know, should we have pointed that out? Are we lighting experts or are we appliance experts? And so I just felt like it's important. And it's not just them, because honestly, I don't think Wolf does a great job. I don't think many hoods do. But I think it's something that as a consumer, wherever you are, you should be in a store where you can turn them on, look at them, and think about that effect, because it does tie in the whole project. And it's generally the cooking's the centerpiece to your whole kitchen. Everything kind of merges to that spot, and it's where people's eyes are drawn.
Definitely. So it seems like for such an important thing like the lighting, it's an afterthought a lot of times for the customer and for the manufacturer that's actually making that hood. So if anything, this is definitely a PSA that when you are looking at your hoods, definitely look at the lighting and see how that's going to look, you know, in the store, obviously, to see how that might potentially look in your home. So,
right. And don't forget to follow us on social media for appliance tips and updates from Yale Appliance.
Your feedback is what shapes our series. Like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you.
Stay informed and inspired on all your appliance needs. This is Appliance Advisors signing off.